I'm here with Jamie today.
Hi.
Been gone for ages. How many episodes now?
I think must be about 4.
Today we're going to be talking about what Nindy's called the C word. It's not the word that we're all thinking about.
I think you can have healthy competition, right? Now, there's one thing I hate, and it's when somebody copies something, but they do a bad job of it. Copying is everywhere in this world.
Just because someone's doing more, it doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means they're doing more stuff. Really just focus on becoming a master of your one thing. You're listening to Just 3 Clicks, and this is episode 23. I'm here with Jamie today.
Hi.
Been gone for ages. How
It
many
must be-
episodes now?
I think must be about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because every time, what it is in the calendar, it tags us all. So I'm like, all right, I must, and because like David's tagged in it, I'm like, all right, he must be handling that one. And I didn't realise, and it's not. It's just, it should be alternate, shouldn't it? But
Yeah.
I think you've
Well-
had some good chats anyway, haven't you?
Well, sort of, yeah. They've been going on. Some of them have been going on for a while. Like we done an episode the other week. It was like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
We just kept talking. Probably just didn't want to go home. Or
It's
we didn't
like
want
the
to go
Joe
out. and do
Rogan
anything.
ones, that. You turn one of them on like, I'm going out for a walk with the dogs. I'll listen to the new Elon Musk. Jesus, it's 3 hours, 50 minutes, 4 hours long.
I
That is a
listened
long
to
time
one
to talk.
episode on a drive home.
Oh, all the way back.
Yeah,
Yeah, 4 hours or something, isn't it?
yeah.
3-4 hours.
Just about get one episode done. And the thing is, as well, if it's if you don't know if it's a good episode straight away.
Nah, you don't.
That's
no.
the thing with a podcast. So you're like half an hour in,
And you're like, you're
And
not
I'm like,
feeling it. You've been-
gonna have to change it now.
It's hard to see as well, the way, if you watch him on Spotify, on his ones anyway, it doesn't really explain what they talk about on there. Just
Nah.
says, and everyone, well, the majority of people, it just says comedian. So I do this thing where I know everyone has a lot of insightful things, but I'm like looking for scientists or looking for
Yeah.
someone that is from a different field than comedy.
Like there's a Macaulay Culkin one that I listened
On
to
his?
the other day. Yeah. And I thought that was going to be weird. I just wanted to see if he was going to talk about Michael Jackson. And he didn't really,
No,
which I thought was a bit weird.
a bit risque, that topic, isn't it?
You know what? Joe Rogan goes into some pretty interesting topics. Like he gets on that line a little bit.
He's done a couple about China that I've listened to recently that have been good, and the people on that, Kevin Baker, one of them, and then the other one, God, it just reminded me. I was listening, so totally random thing, but when was it? Last Monday, I decided to do a solo mountain hike, and I thought I'll go to the lakes. I'm gonna climb, and I found this route, and I thought I'll just go get away from it all. Put a podcast on. I picked that podcast with Mike Baker.
All right.
So I've gone to this area of the lakes. For anyone that's been to the lakes, they'll know about, there's a fell or I don't know if you class it as a mountain, whatever, called Coniston Old Man. So it's about, they have these things called Wainwright walks, where Alfred
Right.
Wainwright documented I think it's over 200 fells in the lakes, and he documented it all in pictorial maps way back in the day. So you can climb or go up every single one, and there's multiple routes up them all. So I've picked this route, and I thought, right, 4 hours, I'll do it in 3. I kind of knew where it was. I'd been around that area before. I'll go for that. So then I've like started walking, and every one I've usually done has been fairly, other than some of the bigger ones, just walking. And there's a couple of bits where you're scrambling a bit, but there was the one I'd gone up. I only remember it because I was listening to that podcast, and it was annoying me while I was trying to concentrate, because it had taken me up through the middle of this crag thing, and it's called Dow Crag. And honestly, it was a I felt like I was on a near-death experience, because I'd gone through the crag. I don't know if you ever watched, because in my head all I was thinking was Free Solo. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. The guy who just climbs without any.
Yeah.
thing,
So
yeah.
in my head, that's what I was imagining. It wasn't a straight rock like he was doing, but it was going. I was climbing up rock boulders and rocks through this bit of a crag at the top, and I couldn't really see anything because the cloud cover was down. So it was misty, so it made it like really creepy. And then I got to a point on the side of this rock, and I looked down, and it made me go weird. And I've never been afraid of heights or anything, but I've looked back, and I've thought, oh, shit, I can't go back down. I can't. I'd gone too steep up that I physically couldn't go down safely. I'd have just slipped. So I had to force myself up, and I got to the top, and I was like in relief, shaking with relief, like, what have I just done there? Taken too many risks there. I could have easily slipped, fallen all the way down. There was sheep bones on the side of it, where a sheep's fallen in there, and it was just bones left. But random story, but I just remember it because I had the Mike Baker podcast on, and as I was trying to concentrate, I couldn't at any one moment take both hands off the rock because I needed to hold on, and I didn't want to listen to it anymore because I was like, it's putting me off. They were talking about American muscle cars. I was like, I don't want to listen to this anymore, but I can't turn it off because I can't and I had to listen to it all the way to the top.
I couldn't do that.
I didn't intend to go up that way, but it's a good adrenaline rush because it's risk, isn't it? But
I like other kinds of risks. I can't climb stuff like, because my level of tolerance for heights is like pretty low, really. I used to hate flying.
Oh, you did? That very first few flights.
Yeah, when we first flew, it was like I didn't like that.
I've never been heights has never been an issue until that moment, and I just made me feel dizzy. And I just couldn't look back at that point. I was like, I'm putting myself at a risk that if I fall here or I slip off or one of the rocks comes away, I'm straight down a quarry. And I was like, just took too many risks.
Yeah.
But not intended to, but yeah, it came off in the end.
So, all right, well, let's have a look at what we're supposed to be doing in this podcast. So today we're going to be talking about what Nindy's called the C word. It's not the word that we're all thinking about. And it's also not cancel, because that's what I thought it was going to be.
Or churn.
Yeah. Which would have been business related, but it's not that either. It's competition. So we're going to talk about competition, how that affects your business, and what to do about it, basically. We've had quite a few experiences with that kind of thing, really. Some
good and bad ones.
Yeah, some pretty bad ones, really. Which weren't bad. They weren't bad now that we look at it, but in the time, it was like the end of the world, which is quite funny. Cool. So it says, let's start off with a quiz. I don't know what this means, but he's given me 2 links for quizzes here. And it's how competitive are you? And how competitive are you actually? Right, okay. So let's see. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Your options are: I came first. We will look for me. I don't like cooking. Sorry, will you look for me? I don't like cooking. Chickens are wimps, so are eggs. The chicken. Pizza is better than chicken and eggs. Or the egg.
I'd choose the egg.
The egg.
Yeah.
Okay. You lose at ping pong to that friend who always beats you. You accuse them of farting so much it distracted you. Ping pong sucks anyway. Accidentally throw the paddles into the neighbor's yard. Shake hands but squeeze super tight. Make fun of their ping pong skills and start a second round. Wait, we were keeping score? ?
We were keeping score. Probably.
I don't know what I'd do there, to be honest.
Either that or the second to last one.
Yeah, make fun of their skills and start a second round. I think I'd probably just be like that. What does Hell Week mean to you? I'd rather try to dig a hole to actual hell, proving to myself that I'm at my absolute physical peak. I have a better idea, Heaven Month. A chance to show everyone who's boss at my sport. Whoa, what's that over there, and run away. Or great, push-ups. That was sarcastic.
Second one.
Yeah, proving that you're at your physical peak. I think I'd be there too. Which dog best represents you? We've got a number of dogs here. I'm going to... I'll have to show you.
Oh. Probably... 3 of them are the same, aren't they, really?
It's what they're doing, isn't it?
The one with the frisbee.
Yeah. I think I'd be, I don't know, probably the one with the sunglasses on. Tom, throw the images up on the video just so people can see it. So choose your ideal breakfast: eggs, toast, orange juice, bacon, and coffee. Second one is muffins, anything pastry. Third one, I typically wake up at lunch, lol. The fourth one is the blood of my enemies, JK, a protein shake. Fifth one, cereal is so good. And the fifth one is leftover pizza. Cold, heating up pizza is treasonous.
1.
Eggs toast.
Yeah.
That's a good
The full
breakfast.
works.
Anytime we've gone to London, that's pretty much what we have. Or
Any
Manchester.
hotel, that's. But then at home I eat kids' cereal, Honey
Do
Nut
you?
Loops,
I'm
or Rice Krispies with honey on. That's my go-to.
I have the same thing every morning, just banana.
Just a banana.
Banana, workout, and then it's an apple and a protein shake. That's it. I've not had lunch yet.
I thought you'd have done a fasted workout
Fucking starving. I used to,
and eating after.
but it's just good getting a bit of carb in you. I think
Yeah.
gets you going a bit. What would you give up to guarantee your defeat? Sorry, what would you give up to guarantee you defeat your biggest rival at every game of rock paper scissors? Number 1, I'm more into tic-tac-toe. I'll own you at some tic-tac-toe. Number 2, $1,000 I can pay money. Number 3, my soul. Number 4, why would I be playing rock paper scissors this often? Number 5, winning isn't everything. And number 6, sweets for a month. I take RPS very seriously.
4.
Why would I be playing rock paper scissors?
Yeah.
Okay. What would I do to defeat? I don't know. I'd probably be similar, really. I don't play rock paper scissors. Or yeah, probably the same. How do you feel when you hear Chariots of Fire? Is that a song?
It is, but I can't think about what it
Let's play it.
sounds like.
Chariots of Fire.
We'll know what it is when it comes on.
Chariots of Fire.
Sure, is it not like an Olympic song? Or?
I'm not good with song names.
Oh, I know what it is, yeah.
It's this tune.
It's like Olympics, isn't it? Rocky, that type of thing. The video I can see in the camera there, running on the beach.
So the options are: I want to watch an inspirational sports movie. Go. Number 2, hungry for a burger or something. Number 3, wait, what song is that? So that was me. Number 4, I feel powerful. Number 5, I want to run in slow-mo on a beach with a dog. And number 6, the song has fire in the title. Fire leads to sweat, so no.
Well, I kind of didn't know what it was, but just to answer it now, I know probably the dog on the beach.
Yeah. Because it doesn't feel like a...
It's not a gym tune.
Yeah,
is
it's
it,
not
or
like I
anything
wouldn't
that?
listen to that in the gym. Like, honestly, sometimes I'll have Rocky on in the gym.
Yeah.
Some of the tracks are quiet.
Do you know, I listen to podcasts in the gym.
Yeah.
Or if I go running, which I've been doing a lot of, nothing.
Yeah.
If I'm walking, mountain biking, nothing. Gym, podcast. I see it as like, I can have half an hour in my gym and just listen to 30 minutes of some education or something.
Yeah. There's certain exercises that I almost need something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be pushing myself. That's the thing. It's not your podcast.
Yeah.
You can't. 'Cause you need to concentrate on that.
Like
don't
on the
you?
bench, a bit of Rocky, and I'll go for it. It will give me the extra edge.
Dance music as well. That's good.
It's not.
It's
It's not.
Some
good.
like Tiesto or something like that is very good in the gym.
You don't listen to dance music, though, do you?
No, not like heavily, but I don't mind some of it. I've got playlists on my Spotify for the gym or running.
Yeah.
Like with running, again, it comes down to the competition thing. I use Strava. So on Strava, based off of this watch, it tracks every run you do, or pretty much it'll know if you've taken the dogs for a walk, so it knows you're walking. Track that, and then it tracks. And when we go mountain biking, it'll track that, or walking or whatever. And then I've got this thing where I track how quick I can do a 5K. So I've been trying to get that time down, and then you can compare it. If I run around my area, you can't really see it, but when you go on Morecambe Promenade, everyone else that's tracking on there, you can see the segments.
Right.
So you're competing. So that day, if I go for a run tonight, for example, on Morecambe Prom, which I might do, I can do my 5K run down there, and I can see everyone else that's run today and how I've compared.
Yeah.
And then everyone all time, so you have an all time leaderboard, so you can see who's the quickest ever.
That's pretty cool.
So you compete and try
Strava.
and
I
good.
didn't know about that.
It's good. Yeah, you could track everything on there really. If you've got a smartwatch or whatever, strength training, everything on it.
You can do strength training too.
Yeah. I put it on when I'm in the gym, but I don't track it properly. But based off of this watch, what you're meant to be able to do, but it's not 100% accurate, is say you do a workout like a bench press, you turn it on for the set, and it'll count your reps. So it must do it via your breath or something.
That's mad. It'll count your steps in that, right?
Yeah, this watch would, yeah. But Strava will, if you've got your phone in your pocket, it does, yeah.
Oh, you got to have your phone to track your steps.
Yeah, unless you've got a smartwatch that connects into it. Apple Watch or whatever.
Okay.
Any smartwatch will connect.
Oh, so Strava's an app.
Yeah, it's an
that
app,
connects to the watch. I thought it was a watch. So
No,
when
no,
you said
it's
that,
just-
I thought, oh wait, you got to wear 2 watches.
No, that's
Get one on each arm. Okay, cool. So, all right. How many push-ups can you do? Probably 5. Push-ups are a government conspiracy. Number 3, I haven't done a push-up since middle school. Number 4, more than you. Number 5, somewhere between 1 and 25. And number 6, I am the push-up champion.
I think I could do more than 25, but it wouldn't be a lot more. I'm not one of these that could do a David Goggins 1,000 or whatever.
Nah,
many
like
he
I
does.
top out at 40. And I know that because I
I'd
do
probably
a
just say
workout.
more than you. That's how I'd approach that. Probably.
Right. You just won the lottery. Now what? I guess I'd invest it. That's what a responsible adult would do. Number 2, buy mum and dad a bigger house and then one for me. Number 3, buy the fastest cars in the biggest house. Number 4, you get ice cream and you get ice cream and you get ice cream. Number 5, pay someone to invent a machine that lets people somehow work out in their sleep. Or number 6, adopt hundreds of dogs and start a dog club.
Probably invest it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been that, though, a few years ago.
Nah, me neither.
See, that can't go into how competitive you are, unless you get less competitive as you get older or whatever. Unless that answer means you're more competitive.
According to this, you're happy with second place. You're not quite the one who gets mad and flips over the checkers game and when your opponent says king me, but you're close. You're relentless in the pursuit of victory, and yet you're not quite so over the top that nobody wants to play with you. You love to trash talk and enjoy a good challenge, but you also know what a game is just a game. Hurts deep down inside to lose, but at least you're a good sport about it. Is that
Probably accurate, really.
Is it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I wouldn't
Like
mind
that.
losing, but I generally like to win.
Yeah,
most of the
everyone
time.
likes to win. But, yeah, it depends what it is.
Yeah. So there we go. Second place.
Silver.
I don't know, so we've got some questions here. So, I mean, would you say you're a competitive person?
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's more in certain things, disciplines. Certain things not.
Because sometimes like people are just like naturally always competitive.
Yeah.
It's like if they see someone doing something, they always want to do better,
Yeah.
which I just think's tiring.
Well, I was about to say the same thing. Like, I just see that as a waste of energy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you could ever be the best at everything. Well, you can't. So you're better off being amazing at a few things. And
It's like in the gym.
yeah,
You'll see people who, it's so bent. Like you'll see people who try to outlift other people, and it's like you can't live like that.
The other thing is as well, I think I'd prefer to be competitive about important things. So in business, competitive, you want to win that, but it's important because the reward on the other side. If I go out mountain biking with my friends, I'm not at the front, and I'm not trying to be at the front of the pack. I'm quite happy just being second, third, fourth, whatever, depending on however many there is. I hate to be last, but I'm not bothered about. Whereas some of the lads were with, they'll try and almost break the necks to try and be the first
Yeah.
or quickest or whatever. But I don't see that as important. Like the reward is the ride, not. But in business, the rewards are the money, isn't it, or the growth or whatever.
Yeah, I think in business you don't really have an option.
No.
You have to be competitive in business.
Yeah,
otherwise you're not gonna
Yeah.
you'll lose.
Yeah, you die. Yeah.
And if you lose, then you haven't got a business. So you just have to be. I don't know, like in videos, when we, obviously for anyone listening, they probably won't know, but when we were doing the second version of videos, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Second version, nobody had done what we had done yet. There was no other tools like videos. But then someone basically like ripped off the product and essentially copied our templates and stuff like that. Not accurately, like, but they were trying to copy the templates. And I remember how freaked out we were because we were just like, oh no, that's it. Like, there's all these. We're gonna lose all our customers, and people are gonna cancel with us. And
When did we see? Was it when we were in Sladeburn?
yeah,
Was that
we were in
video
that.
too? Yeah.
Yeah, we were in that little cabin.
I
thing.
remember the moment we started to dig through it. We had like that music on in the background from Suits or whatever. So it wasn't.
But why was that on?
I have no idea. I'm sure David said this is a good soundtrack.
Oh, we were sat.
But it probably started good, but because we'd got engrossed in it, it switched to just instrumental.
The tense scenes.
Yeah.
Like, we were sat there and basically discovered somebody was copying us. David had the Suits music on for some reason. I think it was it was like that one of those tunes like Man on a Mission or some shit.
But it did honestly go to like that instrumental music.
Yeah, it became like really dreary, like tense music because it's the music from the show. So when there's like scenes of like something happening, it had that song on. But we stopped focusing on the music and we were just looking at this guy copying us and then freaking out, and it just made the whole thing worse. I remember I came to your house after that, and I don't know why, but it's like
We were really worried about it. I know. I tell you, I wrote, and we've still got a link of this somewhere. I'm sure David shared it recently. A drive doc of like,
oh yeah,
because the only way I could compute that going on was right. I'm just going to write down my thoughts in this drive, and it was like multiple pages deep of just why it wasn't bad or what the positives. And when I read it back, like I've read it back recently when David found it. I was like, oh, that's a bit cringe. So it was because in hindsight, we shouldn't have been worried at all, should we? Really?
No.
But I suppose that as far as competition goes, that one moment that we spent all that time on probably helped us with other ones.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like it elevated the product.
Yeah,
like it made us make the product 10 times better.
Well, did we not release? If I remember right, we were gonna release the video, or we were about to, and we stopped the pre-launch and decided to redo it all, and we focused on alpha.
We added in alpha technology. That was what the big thing was.
So yeah, it pushed us to be better.
Yeah. Then we put out we made that video in the car park.
Yeah. That was our first biggest video, wasn't it?
Yeah. We got a couple 100,000 views and stuff. Built quite a big list from that. And then that popped basically. So weird. Like such a weird time. Like now we've got loads of competitors.
Yeah.
Like loads.
Yeah. Like competitors that you wouldn't expect to. Well, when we first started to grow, I suppose now we're probably up there of being one of the biggest, if not the biggest, depending on how you look at it or what metrics you look at. But you see people competing for even, keywords on Google and all sorts, and you're thinking they obviously can see that we're a threat on that side.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't know. Like the takeaway from it was we probably didn't need to worry that much and just leveraged it to actually make the product better. But it was quite a stressful time.
It is, and if you think about it, it's quite good we did worry as much as we did then, because then it made all the ones that came after it less important, and we made the product better. I think alpha was the pivotal moment for videos. Really took us to the next level, because then what that did is that triggered on live action. So it was like, we need to do bigger than alpha.
Yeah.
And live action came. It was like it made us innovate in a way that we weren't thinking of innovating at the time. You can only see that now, though, I suppose. No, we couldn't have seen it back then.
It was quite cool. I think the innovations that we came out with were quite useful, really. And there's still not people doing it like that. There's
Not in the way
there's
we
not a
are.
lot of people doing.
Alpha, I don't see anybody.
Nah, not really.
There isn't, because I've I made YouTube videos with my daughter, and I'm like, I need to get some alpha stuff to put on a thingy, and I don't even think I'll check just to see what else is out there, see if there's anything more suitable to the types of videos she's creating. I'm straight on our app, because you can get alpha technology on, what template marketplaces, but you've then got to use After Effects.
Yeah.
So we probably are the only ones that still have that ability.
Yeah, even with live action, I don't think there's very many people that are doing that.
Not in the way
like,
that
not how
we
we're
have,
doing
no,
it.
No.
So yeah, I think competition's good for that sake in business. It just makes you evolve your product. It's probably good personally as well, to some degree. I don't know. Like, it makes you, like, in the gym, for example. I don't think you should compare yourself to other people. I think that's always a bad thing. But then it depends on how you compare yourself, isn't it? If it's a positive thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, that guy's in great shape. I'd love to get myself in that position.
Yeah.
Let me see what he's doing or she's doing, and I can learn from him more.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
That goes on in 100%. I think the only way you get better is by looking at what others are doing that are doing it better than you, and then just trying to, not necessarily copy, but you just try and refine your own things based off of what they're doing.
Yeah. There's a quote here from Michael Jordan. That's quite good. He says in The Last Dance, that's a bloody great documentary. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it? Really
best
good.
one. The best one I've watched. I've not watched one as good as since that.
Yeah, it's really good. If no one's seen it, Last Dance on Netflix. Story of MJ. So he says, look, winning has a price and leadership has a price. So I pull people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they didn't want to be challenged. And I learned that right because I earned that right because my teammates who came after me didn't endure all the things that I endured. Once you joined the team, you lived at a certain standard that I played the game. And I wasn't going to take any less. Now, if that means I had to go in there and get in your ass a little bit, then I did that. That's a good quote. I like that.
Yeah.
He was good, man. He was
Very.
good, Michael Jordan. It's like LeBron now, I suppose.
Is LeBron better? Because I don't know this. It's like we were chatting about it the other day. You go back to the era of Iverson and Gary Payton, Garnett. That era, I know all them players. Even like Jermaine O'Neal at Detroit. When he no, he wasn't. He was a pacer, and they had that big fight with Ron Artest jumping over. I remember that era of basketball because I used to follow it. But this era, I know LeBron and I know some of the players. Steph Curry, but I do not know who's the best players. I just hear from trading cards that you see these big Luka Doncic, is it? Never seen him play.
It's hard to compare sometimes because it's like Maradona and Ronaldo.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's
to
like,
compare.
how would you decide
there is
who's
one
better?
argument on that one because, in fact, there's a good documentary on Maradona on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. 2 documentaries, one, and then I've recently subscribed to, I don't know if you've seen it on Sky, Discovery Plus, and you can add it to your Sky for free, for
All right.
12 months or whatever. They've got some good documentaries on there, and one of them's a Maradona one on there, like what really killed him because of his party lifestyle. But I watched that, and then one thing you do see of why he was known as one of the greatest compared to the likes of your Ronaldo's today, Messi today is a great example. Maradona, he did more with his career as far as winning things. So for example, he single-handedly won the World Cup with Argentina one year, or one cycle, where they were totally not even in the running, but he went on and carried them to the World Cup title.
Yeah.
Messi's never turned up in a World Cup ever. For Argentina, he just doesn't turn up. I don't know why that is. He just isn't. It's not the same player. So that's why they say he's the greatest, because he's done things like that.
Yeah.
Napoli as well. When he went to Napoli, I'm pretty sure they were up for relegation that was the year he joined. And then he took them and won the title with them 3 years. So it's like he's a player that transformed the team. Ronaldo's done it, but Ronaldo hasn't won a World Cup. So that's how. Whereas I don't know if you compare it against in basketball to
It's
how
rings,
many
isn't
rings
it?
they've got.
How many rings have you got? And I don't think I don't think LeBron's close to Jordan on rings.
How many does he have?
Let's see.
Because has he scored? And then, is it? And again, I might be wrong with all this because I don't follow it, but is it that he's scored more points? Or
He's surpassed Jordan on points, I believe. But it's not the only thing that makes you great, is it?
No, because like Ronaldo just surpassed Pele on goals.
So he's done. LeBron James has 4 rings, which is a lot more than I actually thought. I thought he had like 2. Be offending someone right now. And then Michael has. Michael Jordan has. Why is it not just a quick answer? How many does.
Why? That you'd have thought.
It just should be a number. How many rings does Michael Jordan have? He's got 6. So.
1 more, is it?
2 more.
2 more.
But then you got like Kobe. You know, we're missing out Kobe Bryant, he's actually the middle player between. He would have been the player between Jordan and LeBron, basically. Like Kobe came right after. Kobe's got 5, and I don't think
So
LeBron.
He is mid, isn't he?
I don't think LeBron comes close to Kobe, personally.
No, I think maybe they focus him because he's still playing.
Maybe, yeah. It's eras, isn't it? Like when Jordan started playing, he pioneered a way of playing basketball. And if you watch, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you watch a side-by-side comparison of how Kobe played and how Jordan played.
I've seen that one where they did a...
Yeah, it's like a mirror.
Yeah.
It's
Dunk,
literally
wasn't
like
it,
the
or
way his
something?
body moves, the way he shoots, the way he runs, even his mannerisms, the way he moves his face. It's like Michael Jordan reincarnated.
See, Kobe's like modelled it on him then, hasn't
Yeah.
he? And to
Yeah.
compete is...
And a lot of players have done that from Kobe and then gone on. Now, LeBron's a little bit different because he's massive.
Yeah,
Like
he
he's
is.
huge, he's built, and he's aerodynamic like fucking anything for his size. So he brings a different level of power to a team. Like he's physically stronger than a Kobe or a Jordan. So you know it's a bit of a different player. But
Do they all play same position or similar?
Jordan and Kobe played shooting guard. I think LeBron does play shooting guard, but he might sometimes play power
Will he
forward.
win?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
based off of your knowledge, will he win any more rings? Has he got a chance to surpass?
Maybe.
Is he? Could he? Where are the like? To anyone listening to this who's an NBA fan are going to be like, these guys have no idea. Or me,
I don't
Jamie
watch
has
enough.
no idea what he's talking
I
about.
don't watch enough anymore.
I
to know.
understand the game, and I do understand, and I could probably reel off quite a lot of popular players, but I wouldn't know which teams are leading right now. Or
Oh yeah, so LeBron plays small forward. He doesn't play shooting guard. And again, you know, players switch around and stuff all the time. But I played basketball like a lot when I was growing up, and I followed it a lot when I was growing up. But I'm not really watching it anymore.
it's hard for us to watch it because
Yeah,
I've
it's
thought
not
about
available,
this
is it?
recently because the growth of the sports card market. I was like, this is interesting. I want to understand. Like, where's all this growth coming from? Top Shot as well, having a lot of press.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I know a LeBron and I know a Steph Curry, but who are all these other players? You've got, I can't even, it's Ginny Appolis or whatever he's called. I might have got his name totally wrong there, butchered it. Doncic, he's the one everyone talks about.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who are these guys? I've never seen any of them play. And I thought, I'm going to start watching it because it's on BT. I thought, I'll start watching some games, but it's on at stupid times. That's the issue.
I used to
11,
record the
12 o'clock at
games
night.
on Sky, right? But what happens on Sky is basically, if it runs over, which on a live game it will run over.
Was it like an hour's worth of recording or something?
Well, yeah, sometimes the recording stops
Oh, jeez.
because it doesn't continue to go because the next program started. And
Oh,
so
God.
what I used to do was I'd have to record
Oh,
the
if
next
it went into
program.
like overtime and it actually went. No,
So a lot of the time, sometimes games wouldn't get fully recorded, and it just used to be so frustrating. So yeah, that's that really. So some other questions: is being competitive a virtue, a skill or spirit that should be better nurtured?
I don't know really what that means.
Is it a skill essentially? Like, is being competitive a skill that has to be nurtured? Maybe to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think, I think your experiences, maybe even going back to as a kid, probably will determine how competitive you are. So if you, I watched a program the other day actually that kind of talked about this. In fact, to tell you what it was, it. No, I don't know if it was. Yeah, no, it was. I think it was this. So on Netflix, there's a new. It's a film actually. It's an hour and a half, but it's like a docu-film, and I can't remember what it's called now, but it's good, and it's about the scandal in the US of schooling and how
Right.
rich people. And there's like a famous actress that was in, is it Desperate Housewives, that got arrested and jailed for it for like a few days, or house arrest or whatever, where the rich were able to pay like almost, I mean, it's not a bribe, but it kind of is, where they were able to pay a guy to get their kids in Harvard or Yale or
Right.
the top Stanford. So it was an expose of that scandal, and the film's it's about an hour and a half long. It's a good watch.
What's that called?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's brand new, so you won't.
Oh,
You won't.
I think I've seen the thumbnail for this.
Yeah,
Is it called The Something Scandal?
it could be. Yeah, I can't quite remember, but if you go on Netflix, it is one of the top. But it is a good watch. It's interesting. But anyway, on there they were saying about how, and I think if I'm right, it was one of the officers was talking about, or it was a sports coach, because that's how they got him in. They'd say like, oh, she or he is a Olympic grade swimmer or whatever, or water polo, and then and these kids weren't, and they'd take photos of them looking like they were, and they'd Photoshop like crowds in the background and stuff like that. It's
my God.
mad how it is a really good watch. Anyway, there was a sports coach that wasn't part of it, who basically, and he got dragged into it all, but he said, I could just see when, I can't remember which kid it was, came into the school that got in as this professional sports person. He said he could just tell straight away that how could they be professional? Like, they weren't competitive. They just didn't have it in them. And he was saying, like, what the issue that they found were because a lot of these kids were coming through, and again, this is different for everyone, but were coming through really good upbringings, rich families. In some cases weren't as competitive, or in most cases weren't as competitive as someone who came from a background where they didn't really have anything. So they said that schools shouldn't be about, and how they like framed it was that these schools shouldn't be about you pay your way in. You should just let the kids almost not fight for the place, but almost be. That's how you get the best of the best, because you're always going to get the competitive. So if you've got a kid in the middle of New York, or lives in as they're called their projects in the US, would have a bigger hunger and competitive spirit than someone who's been brought up really well. Now that's not the same for everyone, obviously. Can't say everybody's the same there, but I think how you're brought up, like if you're well off and you've got, and you can bring your children up in a way to, you can pass your competitive spirit onto them, because they can see that you're competitive. That's how that would work. But somebody that doesn't have that role model has to try and find it themselves, if that makes sense. I've gone around a lot of houses there, but
I think I guess like it ties into the ego quite a lot, competition. So I think if you know how to just tame your ego a bit, you could probably handle the competitive thing a little bit better. Because there's bad competition, where it's just like annoying. It's like I don't like annoying competition.
No,
like I play games with some friends and that, and like some people when they lose, like at a game, like their reactions are just so bad.
Rage.
Yeah, it's
Or
like rage
it off.
quitting and shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, come on, like just chill out. Like if I lose in a game, for instance, I find it funny. Like if you remember when we were playing, I probably shouldn't say this, but we were playing Mortal Kombat in the office for like weeks, and we were playing online, and I was getting battered like every day.
Yeah.
But I'd win a few,
Yeah.
and I just used to love it when I'd win a few. But it was funny when I'd get battered, because I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe how good these players are.
Yeah, where you couldn't get a punch in. They were
Yeah,
doing like
and I just
20,
found it
50
amusing.
combos.
So I think you just got to have a bit of a. You got to pick your things, don't you? You got to be competitive about the right things. So yeah. So there's a couple of tips here as well on just kind of like on this topic, I suppose. And there's one here that just says, "Be a pioneer, so lead, don't follow," and that gets you on a head start on your competition, which is probably what we were talking about there with videos. Really,
Yeah.
the way we overcame that fear of the competitive nature of another company is by just being the leaders, pretty much.
Change direction, innovated.
Yeah, we pioneered that whole alpha thing. So that's obviously important. Getting to know your competitors inside out, get to know all your competitors, those are currently out there and those are just out of the radar, yet to make a noise. And again, I think we do this quite well. I think we always kind of keep a finger on the pulse to know who's out there.
Yeah, we pretty much know what most are doing on the surface anyway.
Yeah. Understand your industry's competitive landscape. So where do you fit in and how do all your competitors relate to one another? Don't get too obsessed by what your competitors are doing. That's a really big one. Because we used to do that a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we'd dig into templates. We'd just look at how different or how similar each and every aspect of their apps were in a lot of cases. Probably too deep, that.
Yeah, like I had a message from one of the guys the other day here, just saying, "Oh, by the way, there's this company, they're using our copy and all of this," because it says something like, I'm not going to say who they are. I know who they are, but I'm not going to say it because that'd be free publicity. But their headline is, "Boost your sales videos with a high performing video ads in just 3 clicks." And it's like,
The same.
come on.
Yeah.
Like, our podcast is called Just 3
Do you know what,
Clicks.
right, there's a thing with competition as well, because I think you can have healthy competition, right? Now, there's one thing I hate, and it's when, and this is in all markets, when somebody copies something, but they do a bad job of it. So it's like they're not trying to copy it to grow something incredible. They're just trying to make a quick buck by copying it as closely as possible without infringing copyright, maybe. And maybe they are infringing it. We may not have even seen, but they just they copy it close enough to try and capture a couple of dollars. That's essentially what they're after doing. They're not in it to build anything better for the user. They're just trying to copy something that's already providing value. Now, copying is everywhere in this world, and there was something I read months and months ago about how effectively everything that we do and everything we do is copied, even subconsciously. You've seen it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I get that, and that's good. And I think copying is good, but you should use it to make things that are better and more valuable than what you're looking to emulate. And so that's the only thing that I've seen in the past where we've got competitors that are similar, but they're doing their own things. And some of the things they're doing, you're like, oh, that's actually a really cool idea. That's cool what they're doing there, or how their app works, really intuitive, like that idea. But then we have competitors like everyone else where you're like, it's just a knockoff, as you call them, and it's just someone trying to capture a couple of dollars from probably someone that's searching out our app and wants to buy into our app because they've seen an ad of ours or whatever, that maybe even stumbles across these types of companies by mistake and just thinks they're us. So I just don't like that. I think that's distasteful, but it's also quite it's lazy for me that
we had one competitor
you're not
who
providing value.
Yeah, I mean, we had the other competitor who they were bidding on our keyword.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. I don't like when people bid on brand words. I think that's a bit cheap. But anyway, they did, and then they had this comparison table of like what they did and what we did, and they just basically lied and said that there was something that we didn't do. But it's like, what we do.
Yeah.
It's like, it's things like that. That's just a bit shit.
It's underhand, isn't it? I feel if your app or whatever you've built is good enough, you shouldn't need tactics like that to try and sell it effectively.
This just 3 clicks thing's quite interesting, actually. I think we might want to look at that. Because the just 3 clicks thing is our thing, isn't it? It's like, it says it on our wall. It's the name of our podcast. We've literally used it from day one. It's part of our brand identity, actually. So that's a bit annoying, really. But oh well. So yeah, there's that. Obviously, you don't want to dig too much into it. You don't want to lose sleep over it.
No.
And I think we've been in a position where we have lost sleep over these things before, and in the end, it just isn't worth it.
No,
That's
because
the
there's an
main thing.
opportunity cost as well, isn't it? If you spend, for anyone out there listening, if you're building a business and you see a competitor, you can spend all of your time focusing on what they're doing and how they might be trying to copy or this or that, when you could have spent that time on just making your own thing look better.
Yeah, exactly.
and
I
perform
mean, look at
better.
ClickFunnels.
They've
Like,
been ripped off.
how
Loads,
many
yeah.
funnel builders are there? Great example, actually, and I hope they don't mind us talking about it, but like Andy and Neil at Convertry, for instance. Now,
Yeah.
they compete with ClickFunnels, and they do a fucking good job of it.
Yeah.
Because they don't try to be ClickFunnels.
No.
They've completely pivoted their USP into being the fastest funnel builder.
Yeah.
Like, they do fast pages, it's, that kind of thing. And they've got a different component to their marketing. I actually prefer Convertry over ClickFunnels, not gonna lie. Like, I've been using it recently, and it is actually,
It's a good product.
I think it's a superior product.
Yeah.
And they're growing quite well right now, and hopefully it'll become bigger as time goes on. But it's just like that. And if you look at their ads and that, it's quite funny the way they take jabs at ClickFunnels. It's good.
Yes, even the same with like autoresponders, because that's obviously heavily populated with SaaS companies. If you look at all the top like 4 or 5, you've got MailChimp, and these might not be the top 4 or 5, but the top 4 or 5 in like what I've used, it's you've got your MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, which is what we use, GetResponse, Aweber, and then I can't even think of a fifth. So say the top 4, they're all, you don't go on one of those sites and think, oh, they're ripping off ActiveCampaign, or ActiveCampaign are ripping off it's like they're all their own solution.
Yeah.
And I've used them all, and they're all different in their own way. I don't look at any of them to think they're trying to copy each other. They all offer the same underlying service. You can send emails in an automated way to your customers, but they all have a different way of approaching and doing it.
Yeah. So cool. Well, we'll read off a couple of these kind of things here, and then we'll wrap it up, because we've got a call in like 1 minute, so I'm just conscious. Competition makes you better. I think we've talked about that. It's the best motivator for innovation. You can learn from your competition, obviously, because if they're doing something that you're not doing, that's
Yep.
it just gives you an opportunity to learn. And then a level playing field is no good. Unlevel is better, and you get through that by innovating. So I think what Nindy's trying to say there is, sometimes essentially you have to let somebody else get ahead of you, so that you've got an opportunity to then step past them, because it's going to help you learn new shit. The other thing as well, right? Just last thing is, one thing that happens with competition is you always look at what they're doing that you're not doing. So you'll always say, oh, well, for instance, right, like we've got a competitor called Render Forest. We could talk about them. They do landing pages and everything. They do all kinds. They now do all kinds of different shit. And I think one of the reasons that they're doing all kinds of different stuff is because they're not doing what we do as good as we do.
Yeah.
And that's something to take away, is that just because someone's doing more, it doesn't mean they're better than you. It just means they're doing more stuff. So you should really just focus on becoming a master of your one thing. I think that's like an important point.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I've got a question actually for you. So you think about, say, LeBron James. He's competitive in NBA. Then you've got like Ronaldo. He's competitive in football, on the football stage. And then let's say Drake, he's competitive in the music industry. Do you think, and I've just picked them 3 out off the top of my head, but do you think these people will be competitive towards each other as well for like global stardom and celebrity status?
100%.
Do you think it crosses the mind?
Yeah.
It was something I just thought about earlier.
Do you know, if you think about like Mayweather, he competes with everyone. Like that's why McGregor Mayweather happened.
Yeah.
McGregor was not supposed to be in a boxing ring.
That's true.
But because he became a superstar in his sphere, like Mayweather thought, okay, well, I'm a bigger star than that, so come into my domain and I'll be bigger than you, basically.
So it becomes more of not the domain, doesn't it? It's more like I'm better in general. Yeah.
And, I think sometimes that's all right, but ultimately it's kind of stupid.
Yeah. Because you see, because there was a conversation as well, which made me think of this question, it was the conversation about LeBron, and is he as good as he surpassed Michael Jordan? And somebody I was listening to said, that you've got to look at what they've both achieved off the court. It's not just about basketball. Look at Jordan. Obviously, he has $1 billion sneaker franchise, all of that. And then what he did in his day, because you mentioned before, it's different era of basketball. He had to deal with different things. So does that make him better as well? Because you've got to take that into account. And then LeBron now, he's driving a lot of stuff, like charity stuff. He heads up a lot of things on that side. It's like that's where his lane, where he sees his lane after basketball.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that. Like,
so
it's like if
they
you
all
look
at each other and go, right, I need to do something like that.
Let's look at The Rock.
Mm.
He dwarfs everyone because he started out as a WWF wrestler.
Yeah.
He transformed that industry, pioneered it, became a champion. I know it's fake, but it's not fake really. He became a champion multiple times, blew up into not just a big actor. He's the actor. He's the biggest actor in the world. Like,
now he's got other companies, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's nailing it.
And
so
he'll be competitive in that space now, won't he? He'll take that competitiveness of.
If you watch him talk, he says like when I got into acting, I wanted to be better than Will Smith. That's what.
Oh, does
that's
he?
what he wanted to do, and I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's a better actor than Will Smith, but he's probably almost at the scale in terms of what he's achieved in his Hollywood career, I think.
Yeah, well, Will Smith's kind of backed off, hasn't he, really, now?
Mm.
His career's probably taken not a downward step because he's done a lot of amazing films, but he's probably
got to get into the end of it, I think.
Yeah. Same almost as like Denzel Washington, they've come to the end of. But maybe there's other roles, isn't there? I don't know.
Maybe.
They're just because those two in particular were my favourite actors. Their films, love all of Will Smith's films and Denzel Washington. Anything that he was in, I always thought, yeah, that'll be good.
Training Day.
Yeah.
Such a sick film. Inside Man is obviously in that.
Safe House as well. Is it Safe House is a good one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Inside Man's good.
There's loads of good films.
Equalizer's good. And that's one of
both of them. They're both good films.
Yeah, so no, that was it. Cool. Competition is good.
Competition's good. Just don't let it drown you, that's all. So cool. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you leave a review on the iTunes page or wherever you're listening, Spotify or whatever. I don't know if you can review on Spotify, to be honest, but if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow us and leave a comment on the YouTube as well. And we'll see you in the next one.